All right, here we go. Happy Memorial Day. If you are a current or former military individual, thank you so much. I love living in this country. I love that we get to do cool shit like we do here in the U.S. I might have the occasionally negative, dark view of what's happening in our country, but overall, it is still the best place in the world to be. Whatever you think about the military, if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be here. That's the bottom line. All right. And even if they're not actually fighting, everyone knows we have the badasses that we do, and it keeps us safe. You know what I mean? Outside of 9/11, Pearl Harbor, things like that, which are every almost 80 years, 60 years. We've been pretty safe here. People don't invade us, knock on wood. And thanks, military, for all the help you've given us. So, happy Memorial Day. My name is Travis Neville. This is the Travis Neville Podcast. I wrote this book called The Jossman Method. It's about conquering life's transitions, how to make the best out of big-ass changes, how to see the potential, how to see the opportunity, and that's what this podcast is about. We're trying to support that. We're trying to be positive, move forward, get you to look at yourself, get you to honestly believe in yourself, and be a happier person. That's it. That's what we're doing. So today, to that end, I got to say this too. I mean, we talked about the Memorial Day thing, but this shit isn't for kids, okay? You know, I know I used to be a high school teacher, but this isn't for kids, all right? You know, if you want to be better at adulting, right? This is kind of what we're trying to do here. It's for grown-ass men, basically, all right? For badass motherfuckers that want to be even more badass. That's what we're doing here. So, just a heads up on that. It's not, this is shit that's not going to appeal to the 16-year-old, most likely. All right, so today I want to talk about lies that we tell ourselves, okay? And this is, like I remember Jeff Goldblum saying in the movie The Big Chill, he says, that rationalizations are more important than sex. And whomever he's speaking with says, it's like, oh, that just can't be true. That can't be true. And Goldblum goes, who's a smart, he basically always plays smart people because he's a pretty smart guy. Says, oh yeah, you ever make it through a day without a good rationalization? The good ass point. Okay, and what I'm talking about is this. Well, let's just fucking dig into one. So I'm going to give you an example. Again, lies we tell ourselves. I don't have time for X. Whatever it is. All right? That's a lie that you tell yourself. I don't have time to work out. Or I don't have time to read. Or I don't have time to meditate. Or whatever it is that you tell yourself. I don't have whatever it is. That's just not fucking true. You got you the same amount of time as everybody else. The day's still 24 hours for you like it is for your fucking dog. All right? So really what's going on is when you say that, what you're saying is, that really isn't that important to me. All this other shit's more important to me. That's what you're saying. And I would tell you that let's talk about the workout thing. And I talk about this specifically in my book. And at the beginning of this, I was posting a lot of my workouts and shit on my Instagram page. If you go back, you can see all that stuff. But I'm still doing all those workouts. I'm just not posting about them because this has kind of evolved into more of a mental thing. This has. But like shit, I just got done doing a 4-mile trail run. I go out on this mountain bike path and I run. And there's always bikes. And if somebody passes me, I'm like, all right, man, I'll pass them on that fucking hill coming up. You know what I mean? Like I'm setting goals and doing that shit. But I make time. You know what I mean? I set other shit aside. And if you did this whole I don't have time for whatever it is. If you did this, if you actually laid out your minutes in the day about what you were actually doing. You know what I mean? Like from the time you got up until the time you went to bed. I guarantee you got a couple hours before bed where you're just fucking watching TV or maybe you're calling it family time or whatever you're doing, and that's cool. But family time can be walking around the neighborhood. Family time can be in the basement. You're on your machine and they're playing with a little basketball or something. I mean, you can You could fit that shit in if you want to. Whatever it is that you're saying you don't have time for, you do. You have the same amount of time everybody else does. You're not on some different abbreviated calendar. You know what I mean? Where your days are only 22 hours, everybody else's are 24. That's a lie you tell yourself. Okay? And it's fucking bullshit. You don't. If you made it a priority, you would do it. That's the bottom line. So there's one lie you tell yourself. And again, you rationalize it by saying, well, it's family time. Or whatever, however you do it. But that's what's happening. You're rationalizing that. Why you're not doing X. This thing that you think you should be doing, or you know you should be doing, and you're not. Number 2. This is a big one, man. When you see something going on that shouldn't be going on, and I'm not talking about, well, yeah, I am actually. Say, when you see like an idea being, propagated at work, being disseminated at work that, hey, we're going to do this, or this is what's the new thing, or this is the direction we're moving. And you clearly see why it won't work. Like you are like, fucking shit won't work. There is no nobility in sitting back going, that's not going to work, watch this. There is no nobility in that. Okay? If you're at your job, I assume you're part of some kind of a team. It is your job to say, hey man, I know you mean well, and that sounds great, but here is why it's not going to work. Okay? Now, it might be a situation where you get a bunch of stink about it, but I would rather know that I did what I could to fix the situation. And whatever, I got blackballed. I don't give a shit. It happens to me all the time. You know what I mean? You know what? I'm the football coach who got fired from his football job for telling kids that they were lazy and entitled. That's who I am. I'm not going to hold back on that shit. So that's it. Yeah, that's another lie you tell yourself. I don't need to speak up. That somebody else will fix that. Somebody else will take care of that. And I'll tell you what, it's less, eminent. It's less imperative, but it's the same situation as seeing a woman being attacked in a parking lot and you're not doing anything about it. I mean, that's more acute, I would say. It was the same thing. Going, well, somebody else will take care of that. The police will come. I hear sirens in the distance. No, man, that's on you. You got to do that. That's a lie you tell yourself. I don't need to speak up. Someone else will take care of it for me. Someone else will do it instead. Like, I got this other shit to do. That's just you being lazy. Maybe even afraid. Again, how else would you rather walk away? Would you rather walk away knowing you did everything you could, even if the consequences were negative? Or laying there in bed going, fuck, I should have helped. I should have said something about that shit at work. I should have helped that woman. I saw that dog crossing the road. I should have yelled his name, tried to get him to come back. You know what I mean? Which one do you want to deal with? So there's another lie you tell yourself. I don't need to speak up. I don't need to. Someone else will do it. Or, you know what? I'm over this. I spoke up before and nobody listened to me. Fuck that shit. Now you're feeling sorry for yourself, and that's bullshit. Saddle up, motherfucker. Quit rationalizing. Oh, man, here's a big one. If only X were better, I'd be happy. You all do that. If only once this situation resolves itself, man, I'll be so happy. No, you fucking won't. You'll find something else to fucking worry about. That's what you'll do, man. That's human nature. All right? We are excellent pattern seekers, okay? That's what we're good at. That's what makes us ultimately successful before the whole self-awareness thing happened. We could see patterns. And that's what makes us smart, okay? And I can see that pattern in you, okay? I see it in myself. I'll be worried about a thing. And that thing resolves itself. Oh, no, I got to worry about this now. I'm going to deal with that. I mean, that's a daily fight for almost all of us. When really the bottom line is this. You just have to get in the habit of going, you know what? I know there's some shit not going on. That's great. But I'm going to be happy anyway. I'm going to find a way to be excited and happy and proud and enthused and fulfilled by the things that are already here. You know? That's Travis Tritt's song, Great Day to Be Alive. He said, I know there's some people are struggling in the neighborhood or something like that. He says, but I don't know, when I close my eyes, I know the sun's still shining. It's never going to be perfect. And man, if you do get that time where pretty much everything's straightened out, like sitting there talking with my buddy the other night, we were sitting in my garage, smoking a cigar, drinking some delicious fucking bourbon, listening to some country music, just fucking relaxing. And he was telling me about how incredibly pleased he is with his life right now. He's like, you know what? This is going well, and that's going well, and that's going well. And ultimately, those three things are all I give a fuck about. Everything after that is just fucking window dressing. You know? He's like, I'm just fucking happy. And man, ultimately, and this is the discussion we had, it's easier. Being relaxed and enjoying what's going on in your life is so much less work. Stress and worry, that's like a fucking job. Do you want to fucking do that all the time? It sucks. So quit telling yourself that you're going to instantly be happy when this situation resolves. Now, I know there's going to be things in your life that are real big and real bad, but they're fucking rare, okay? You know, somebody gets cancer, you lose your job, whatever, shit like that. Those are transitions, you know, and I have written down some words that will help you with those transitions, and I know they're going to be on your mind and they're going to bring you down a little bit, but that's just another test. This is another way for you to challenge yourself and go, okay, this is pretty fucking hard. Let's see how successful I can be at being happy anyway. You know what I mean? Got a buddy went through cancer when we were coaching football. Really impressed me how that motherfucker just didn't. I mean, I forgot he had cancer. And he's going into, you know, having radiation and all this fucking shit done to him. And he looked terrible, but like physically terrible, but his attitude was upbeat. He was there. He never missed a day. He chose to be happy anyway, or at least he knew it was responsibility. It was his responsibility to certainly put that facade out there because he was in a leadership position. That's what you do. You're like, hey, I'm going to show you. I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm just going to show you. Going through cancer, don't give a fuck. It's going to change my life zero. I'm going to keep grinding. I'm going to take care of business. Impress the shit out of me. Like I said, to the extent that, like I said, I forgot he was sick. I still look back and go, fuck, that's right. He had cancer. Holy shit. You can do it. You can fucking do it. You decide what mood you're going to be in. You do, man. It ain't the fucking weather. There's all these things that can impact it. But you decide. Nobody's got a remote control on your fucking brain, on your emotions. Like I said, there are external factors sometimes, but again, it's just another, oh, all right, cool. It's raining out. It's kind of shitty. Oh, man, I lost my job. Let's see if I can be happy anyway. Make it a fucking challenge. Make it a game. Make it fun. You know what I mean? Life is supposed to be fun. Enjoy the shit out of it. Let's see. Well, there's external lies too, okay? These are lies you're telling yourself. I should have started with this, but when you tell a lie, when you say something that's dishonest, when you say something that's just not true, how about that? Now you got to make that shit a reality with that person. You got to remember, oh yeah, I told them this. So I got to back that up for a long fucking time. Like I watched it, I think it was one of the Born Identity movies or Born Supremacy or some shit. And the dude's like, those three things you said to her, now those have to be facts. You have to make those facts for your asset. Like, oh man, that sounds like a lot of work. You know, they are. You tell somebody something that's not true. Like I said, we were sitting there the other night, and I guess I got drinking a little bit too much the other night, and said a thing that wasn't true. And so I called him today, and I'm like, hey man, evidently I said this the other night, and that isn't true. So I'm not sure exactly what I was thinking or what was going on there, but man. And so that's an uncomfortable conversation. I would have rather just been honest with him to begin with. I can't remember what my motivation was, but my point is this, that the lies that you tell yourself, they're harder to work on, but they're very, very similar. They're exactly the same, really, if lies you tell to people outside of you. Anything that's dishonest, now it's a job. Now it's a thing you got to keep track of. Now it's a thing you have to remember. Oh yeah, I told this person that, so I got to make sure that, back that up. Or like, I don't know. You know what I mean? You get it, right? Lies are work. That's my only point. Being dishonest is work. And what's behind that? Well, obviously, that you're telling a lie to somebody that you want them to think something about you. You want them to think better of you, or not worse anyway. Otherwise, why would you say these things, right? So that's the motivator. So it's a crack in your self-esteem. It's a momentary lapse in your opinion of yourself. Like you really want them to think a certain thing about you. It's usually how that shit works. Or you want that information to go out to, you know what I mean? That's what's behind it. And I would tell you, yeah, so it's low self-esteem, low self-confidence that's behind a lie. And I would tell you that's the same way when you're lying to yourself. And those lies are way worse. You know what I mean? Because you know it's a fucking lie. And now you're dealing with, like, trying to make that true in your own head. It's a lot of fucking work, man. I just don't want to do it. All right, here's another one. Here's a big lie. Everyone tells themselves this. I'm working hard enough. No, you're not. You're not. Unless you can, let's wheel back to the very beginning, like my buddy that I was hanging out with on Friday night, unless you could sit there and go, yeah, I'm really happy exactly where I am. I don't want for anything else. I'm right where I want to be. Unless you can say that, you're not working hard enough. It's bottom line. There's some part of your life you're not happy with, should be working harder on it. Whether it's your physical fitness level or your income level or your relationship status, or there's something in your life that isn't going that well. You're pulling up to your house every day and you're like, fuck, man, that garage door looks like shit. It's all peeling. You want to live with that worry? You want to live with, man, that fucking thing looks terrible. Or do you want to just get it fucking done so you're not thinking about it anymore, right? So just little things like that, all the way up to the big things, like your relationship. You know, that's a big one, okay? You can always put more work into your relationship, that's true. And ultimately, when it comes to any kind of work that you're doing, you've got to pick a pace, okay? You know, I run and I do cardio shit, and every runner that isn't a sprinter understands pacing, okay? You have to set a pace that you know you can maintain, and you want to set the fastest pace that you can maintain without losing your shit before the finish line. Like today I ran 4 miles, and I didn't time myself, but if I had to guess, I was probably running, you know, I'm on a mountain bike trail, so it's hilly and bumpy and curvy and roots and shit. I was probably running high 8s, something like that. Like I would guess I probably got through that mile in, 35 minutes and change, something like that. That'd be my guess, that 4 miles. So that's like high 8s, right? Yeah, I guess 34. Yeah, something like that. I picked a pace I knew I could maintain. I crossed the end and I felt worked out. I could have gone harder, but I'm not trying to kill myself and have tomorrow suck too. You know what I mean? Like I picked a pace I could maintain. That's what I did. You need to pick paces you can maintain with what you're working on. You know, if you need to do, if 8 hours a day isn't enough for your job, and for most people it isn't, maybe you need to go 9. But it isn't really the time. It's the intensity that you're putting into the time, right? Like I know that for me, like I'm going to go up this week and I'm going to paint another house up north because I'm just enjoying it. It's fun. It's old school. Driving around my 22-year-old pickup truck and, painting all day and getting a little sunburn and coming home and having a beer. It's just like I feel like I'm fucking 21 again. I'm back in college. That's what I did in the summer back then. I know that there's a pace that I can set where I can physically work at that. And I'm comfortable. I'm going to get shit done. And at the end of the day, I'll feel a little tired and I'll have accomplished a lot, but I still have, I won't be sore the day after where I can't work the next day. So I've got to set that pace, right, where I'm working. And I know that for most people still, I can still go. Like I can still paint pretty quickly. Like I used to be like one of the faster guys, right? And I was still pretty fast. Like it took a little while to knock the rust off on one of those last jobs, but now I got it going. Like I'm like, all right, cool. I can roll here. And so I know I'll pick the pace. And you need to do the same thing. I mean, at your job, we've talked about, I forgot what it's called, but there's this concept called the tomato, where you use a tomato timer. I was reading, one of the self-help books that I read all the time, the shit that's pretty intense. It's Pomodoro, the Pomodoro method. I think they go 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off at work. That's how they do it. What I mean by that is you'll set this tomato timer for 25 fucking minutes. And for that 25 minutes, you're working. You're intensely answering emails or building websites or whatever it is that you do. Then goes off, and then for 5 minutes, surf your phone, walk around, go get some water. And then you keep that 25-5 pace up all day, and you subtract out a lunch or whatever. And that's a really productive way to do things. That might help you. Look up Pomodoro. There's lots of people who talk about it. Maybe you decide to do it differently. You do 50 minutes and 10 minutes off, or however you want to do it, as long as you're setting a productive thing. And the key with that is with Pomodoros, it's adhering to that clock. You don't let it go off and be like, all right, I'm just going to finish this up. No, you stop right now. Because the thing there is, if you stop in the middle of something, then you're going to have that pull to come back to it after your 5 minutes are up. You're going to be excited to go back, or, you're going to feel some pull, right? You know what I mean? Some imperativeness there to go back and finish your shit. So that's a way that could help you. I mean, I can tell you that when I was studying in college, I would do it that way. I'd study for maybe 20 minutes and then take 10 minutes and play a video game, or, just walk around outside. Because you can only cram information in your head for so long, and it's just not fucking fitting. You got to give it a break, and it's like working out. You can't just do bench press for an hour. No, you got to split it up into sets and reps. Work, recover, work, recover, work, recover. Your brain works the same way. It's no different. So that's a thing that could help you. And again, that is a lie that people tell themselves. I'm working hard enough. You're fucking not. You can always work harder. Okay. Now, maybe it's a situation where you go to, you crush it one day. And the next day you're like, fuck, man, I'm realizing I don't want to do anything today. So maybe you went a little too hard yesterday. So dial it back a little bit. Again, finding a pace you can maintain. 8 hours a day, whatever you're doing, go home, relax. 8 hours the next day, and then you take your 2 days off on the weekend. Find that pace where you can do it. You're not working hard enough. You're lying to yourself. If there's anything you're not happy with, you're not working hard enough. Bottom line, fucking true. That's a lie people tell themselves. Let's see here. Oh, here's this one's going to take a little bit. I say this for last because it's the most complex, and this digs into most of kind of what we talk about. But this is a lie that you'll tell yourself. I tell myself this, or used to a lot, and I would tell you it was responsible for my failures in several relationships. I have no emotional needs. That's a lie I've told myself. I shouldn't need whatever it is. And, actually I wrote an article about this on LinkedIn, and that's kind of what got me thinking about this. Honesty about needs and lying to yourself. Here, I like to hear good job. I do. I can't help it. And I used to be so embarrassed by that. Like, oh, I shouldn't need that. I shouldn't need that. I should be self-reliant, and I should be, the John Wayne badass. I mean, maybe that's a nice goal. It is. But bottom line is I feel a lot better when somebody tells me good job. And you know what? I got to be to the point where I tell myself good job. Like today, I'm running on a mountain bike trail. And like I said, I'm running, and these three dudes pass me, and I'm like waving them past. I'm like, pass me on the right, pass me on the right. And we get to this area called the Wall, which is a very steep thing, and you can't really ride your bike up it. But I can run up it. And so I ran to the top of that bitch, and these guys were at the top of the hill just fucking relaxing. And I blew right by them. And then it was another mile later before they passed me again. And I'm like, that's right, motherfucker. You're on a bike. I'm running, and I passed your ass. You know what I mean? So I told myself, good job. Hey, wait, man, way to go, man. You're 44 years old. You could still go. That's cool. And I need to hear it from, I need to see it in other ways too. And here's how that kind of fleshes out. Like yesterday I had my whole family over here. My brother, his family, my sister, her family. My mom was here. It was my mom's birthday. We had a great time. And, man, I just at a couple of points during the day I looked around. I'm like, man, my house looks pretty good. I painted it. The landscaping's done. I built this deck that we're all sitting on. The lawn's mowed. I got this cool-ass antique tractor. The kids are taking, getting rides on it. I'm like, good fucking job, dude. Good job, Travis. You've worked hard. You've built a nice home for yourself, and nice fucking work, bro. You gotta do that. So I need to hear that. So I'm learning how to tell it to myself, and then it feels really good when somebody else tells you. You know what I mean? How about this? Yeah, here's a lie I've told myself. Hey, a real man should be able to tell himself everything is okay all the time. Well, that's, like I said, it's a nice goal. But I realize that having somebody around, or friends around, or whatever, somebody who will occasionally tell me that, I'm just happier. You know what I mean? I'm just happier. Yeah, that's a lie I've told myself. here's the thing. Like, especially in your partnership, right? You have things, if you're feeling like that, like I have often felt like, man, I don't want to impose this need that I have onto my partner. It makes me feel weak. I feel like it's going to make them have to do work. I don't want to make them have to deal with my emotions. Like I'm trying to be a better man, a better partner. Ironically, that didn't work. But when you start thinking about that, hey, I don't want to impose that on my partner. Think about this. Are there things that you can provide for your partner that you'd rather they don't even try to provide for themselves? Like you're a dude and you're fixing her car. You're cutting the grass. You're painting shit. You're fixing the dishwasher. There's probably a ton of shit that you bring to that relationship that you give to her and you make her life better as a result. Women are good at emotional shit. Let her do that for you. Let her help you with your emotions, man. They're good at it. And how do you feel when you fix her fucking car? Or when you cut the grass? Or when you fix something around the house? Or when you buy dinner? You feel like a fucking stallion, don't you? You're helping out. You're contributing. You're doing a nice thing for your partner. It makes you feel great. Why don't you give her that opportunity to feel that same way? To help you feel good. You know what I'm saying? Give her the opportunity. And in order to do that, we go back to that emotional freedom thing. You got to be able to share what's on your mind. You got to be able to say, I don't need you to drop to your knees when I walk in, but, your car looks great, and I did that. You know what I mean? You got to say that a couple times. Let them know, hey, this is a thing I'd like to hear. A good partner will listen to that, and they'll help you out. They'll give you an attaboy, little slap on the ass. They will. And if you are, you're needing to, I don't know, you get it, shit. Give them the opportunity. Give them a shot. Shit, it's your partner, you picked them. They probably have some desire to help you, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's rewarding. It's rewarding to fill weaknesses for your partner. Not weaknesses, but fill empty spots. They don't have time or don't choose to or don't want to do these things, and you can do it for them. Let them do it for you. It's pretty good shit. So those are some lies that you tell yourself, okay? They're, like I said, all lies are work. All lies make your life more difficult. All lies are a thing that's going to come back and bite you in the ass eventually. Yeah. Don't put yourself in a situation where you have to worry about it. You want to walk into a room and go, boy, I hope they don't find out about this. Like I'm working on this. I'm going to paint this house this coming week. And man, I've done a few house painting jobs when I was younger where I'm like, man, I cut this corner here and I did that the other place and hope they don't see any of that shit. And it's uncomfortable and it's stressful. Those are lies. When you're at, just go, no, this fucker looks good. I dare you to find a problem with it. I dare you. You know what I mean? Why not run the rest of your life exactly the same way? Hey, I'm honest as fuck. Yeah, I'm going to tell you. I was teaching high school. And I got put on leave because I got arrested for marijuana possession. And I went to jail overnight. And that sucked. That's a thing I did. But I'm not going to lie about it because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm talking to some new person and I'm wondering if they know. I'm wondering if they're going to bring it up. No, yeah, because I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to hide it. Yeah, I was coaching football and I did one of these podcasts, which is going to come out in the next couple of weeks. I've decided it's time. It's been over a month. It's coming back out. And I said some shit about a kid I shouldn't have said. But the theme of that podcast was very, very good. And the theme was this. Kids and adults today are entitled as shit. They're lazy as fucking hell. Most of them. And it's embarrassing. And those guys who fought and died in our military, it is Memorial Day, they would be embarrassed. I take that back. I'm not going to project that. What I'm going to tell you is this. I am a Second Amendment guy, right? I told you I carry firearms. I'm well-trained and shit like that. It is my Second Amendment. I'll use my Second Amendment rights to protect your First Amendment rights. Talk all the shit you want. That's fine. We're in a country where you're allowed to do that. And until something changes, I'm proud that we are. So I might not agree with what you're saying, but I'm going to protect your right to say it. You know what I mean? And I would tell you that those military guys would say the same thing. You know? We are lazy and entitled in this country. We are. But that's a luxury. It's a luxury that's been provided by motherfuckers, badasses, who went out there in camouflage with a red, white, and blue flag on their shoulder, and they died to support and protect your ability to live the comfy-ass, luxurious life that you live. Don't ever forget that shit, okay? It's a big fucking deal, all right? That's where it is. Remember where you're, you know, get some perspective there. Talk all the shit you want because you can. There's lots of places still where you can't, okay? I'm Travis Neville. This is the Travis Neville Podcast. I wrote this book called The Jossman Method. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Audible. You can get it lots of different places. I'm going to go up north for a week and paint a fucking house. I'm going to come back with sunburn and a few $1,000 in my pocket and a big smile on my face because I like doing that shit. It's Memorial Day. You should find some cool shit to do too. Find some friends, find some family. Get a bonfire going. Roast some hot dogs. Make some s'mores. It's officially summer, motherfuckers. Let's go out and have fun. I hope that today helped you at least a little bit. Get your shit together. Have a great weekend.